Hello, I'm Roman, and I'm a Sabrewulf player in Killer Instinct. Today I want to talk a little bit about tick throw offense, and I have 5 tips for how to make your basic tick throw offense more threatening to your opponent. These concepts can be applied generally to many fighting games where tick throws are a strong mix-up, but I will be showing these examples with Sabrewulf and KI since this is the game I am most familiar with. For those of you not too familiar with Killer Instinct, Sabrewulf is probably the game's most pure form of a rushdown character, where he often can struggle in neutral versus many characters, but once he's able to get in, his offense and pressure can give any character trouble. He was also designed around having a very strong tick throw game backed up by arguably the best frame data in the game, the fastest walk speed in the game, one of the largest throw ranges in the game, a relatively high damaging throw in the game, and normals that will move Wolf forward and leave him constantly plus in the face of his opponent. Infill's fighting game glossary defines tick throw as making someone block a fast, close-range normal and then immediately throwing them. This makes for a good mix-up in a game where the normal leaves you plus on block and the window to throw tech is not easily reactable. For the purposes of this video though, I would like to use a broader definition of tick throw as any time where you're able to threaten a frame trap or an unreactable throw mix, and universal defensive options that defend against the throw lose to frame traps and vice versa. So with this definition, I will also include micro walk-up throw as being part of the tick throw offense. Because while yes, often they can be stuffed with matching on defense, it isn't necessarily reactable and the opponent still has to deal with the threat of the frame trap at that distance. So to me, the basics of tick throw are all about the mix between the throw or the frame trap. So I already mentioned that Sabrewulf was practically designed to be a super strong tick throw character, and let me show you why. In KI, generally the fastest normals in the game have 5 frames of startup. Throws also have 5 frames of startup and have priority over other moves, so if a strike and throw were to connect on the same frame, then the throw would win. This basic knowledge of game mechanics is crucial to designing a tick throw offense for your character. Sabrewulf can set up his effective tick throw offense with only using 2 buttons, his crouching light kick and his back heavy punch command normal, which I will now refer to with its in-game name, Overpower. Crouching light kick is a 5-frame mid attack that is a nearly unreasonable +4 on block, while Overpower is an 8-frame mid attack that is +2 on block, does chip damage, and moves Wolf forward toward his opponent. An 8-frame button after being +4 means that when it is properly timed, it will frame trap against any 5-frame normal and throw. Against characters with weaker defensive options, Wolf can pressure with just these 2 buttons, and they cannot escape without a bar of meter. Now that we've established that Wolf is the king of honest mids, here is where you start running your tick throw offense to mix them up. My first, and in my opinion most important tip for running effective tick throw offense is, be ready to hit confirm your frame traps. People in Killer Instinct have been dealing with Sabrewulf for nearly 10 years at this point, and they are conditioned to defend against throw as soon as they block one of Sabrewulf's plus buttons. Throws in KI have considerable risk, as their recovery is quite long, and most characters in the game can punish a whiffed throw if they jump or backdash it. I'm sure you've heard the fighting game adage, take the throw, but in KI, I think many players live by a different mantra, which is to avoid the throw at all costs. I've seen many players, including myself, get too fixated on the throw part of the tick throw offense to the point where they just tunnel vision it by thinking, I'm just going to do random amount of plus buttons and then throw them. That mindset leads to the player on defense just being able to disrespect your offense by holding up or mashing throw tech as they have very little to fear and trying to escape the throw. So it's on you to make them afraid of escaping the throw, which is best done by being ready to hit confirm your tick throw pressure. Additionally, going for the frame trap option is often safer in KI as well. Hit confirming gives your opponent a reason to be scared of your tick throw offense, leads to higher damage on average than a throw, and forces them to think twice about mindlessly trying to defend against the throw, which will then open them up to being thrown later on. Another reason why Wolf is an amazing tick throw character is that his buttons also are more hit confirmable than much of the rest of the cast in KI. Overpower, while being plus on block and moving Wolf forward, also has an enormously large cancel window and might be in contention for all-time easiest buttons to hit confirm in a fighting game. What if you hit your opponent with a crouching light kick in your pressure? The cancel window on this light normal is very small and not possible to hit confirm into a special move. Fortunately, Wolf's crouching light kick is +5 on normal hit and +7 on counter hit, so it can be hit confirmed by linking into another normal, regardless if your opponent is holding up or gets counter hit trying to tech a throw. Yes, confirming it on normal hit is a 1-frame link which can be tricky, but with practice I think the timing is fairly easy to get consistent to the point where you think you can be able to confirm 80+% of your crouching light kicks, if not more. As a KI specific aside, there are a couple characters in the game that cannot be counter hit during their throw tech startup for whatever reason, and instead the game says punish, so your 1-frame links will just need to be on point versus those characters. So the takeaway from tip number 1 is to structure your tick throw offense around hit confirmable options and make sure you are actually focusing on landing those hit confirms instead of autopiloting and getting blown up by your opponent, going all in on avoiding the throw. So now you're starting to hit confirm during your tick throw offense, and this leads directly into my second tip, which is hit confirm your tick throw pressure into easy to hit confirm options. This essentially means try to hit confirm into something that you can also hit confirm. The importance of this varies from game to game and character to character, but because of strong defensive options in KI like Shadow Counter, it becomes very important for a character like Wolf. We've already stated that matching crouching light kick on block versus your opponent is a very strong option, because it is a 5-frame button that is +4 on block and +5 on hit, so it actually links into itself. We've also stated that crouching light kick itself is not hit confirmable into a special move, which is how combos get started in KI. Since crouching light kick to crouching light kick is a 1-frame link, it is fairly easy to drop, and since it's not hit confirmable, you must commit to a special move to start a combo. If the link is dropped, this leads to a free shadow counter or even a punish, as Wolf's most damaging combo starter is actually punishable on block. So to avoid that issue, I try to hit confirm Wolf's crouching light kick into his target combo or double jab chain, which are a 1-frame link on normal hit and 3-frame on counter hit. It cannot be shadow countered on reaction, and if you miss the link, you are safe on block at -2 or 0 respectively. Additionally, I will try to counter hit confirm crouching light kick into standing medium punch or crouching medium punch, which are both 6-frame buttons with relatively large cancel windows so they can be confirmed into special attacks or a target combo. Again, this tip might be more useful to KI specifically, but it ultimately makes your tick throw pressure more consistent as you are making confirming combos off hits and your pressure easier and safer versus your opponent. From the first two tips, it might be clear that I believe the tick portion of tick throw offense is the most important part. So my third tip is, try and frame trap with buttons that allow you to continue your offense for as long as possible. Sabrewulf being able to do up to 3 crouching light kicks on block with an overpower mixed in at any time, all while frame trapping against his opponent's options, allows him to run an endless onslaught of plus mids that can be hit confirmed with the threat of an unreactable throw mix at any time. This is where my extended definition of tick throw comes into place, as Wolf can take advantage of his fast walk speed to threaten walk up throw after a couple plus buttons with low pushback. But trying to defend against this option with mashing also still loses to Wolf continually pressing buttons. But ultimately, this tip is to say yes, while you can frame trap after Wolf's plus buttons with his target combo, but if the opponent continued to block instead of avoid the throw, then you are -2 on block and have given up your tick throw offense for free. I mentioned using Wolf's target combo after hit confirming a crouching light kick, but I think going -2 versus your opponent because you accidentally dropped a hit confirm is very different than just giving up your pressure on block for free, especially with a character like Wolf who needs to get as much out of his pressure as possible before being sent back to neutral where he can often struggle. So with just 2 buttons, crouching light kick and overpower, Wolf can set up a very strong tick throw offense, which is why Wolf is regarded as a simple character in KI, but a simple and effective game plan can go a long way. Wolf also has many other great plus buttons that are confirmable as well, but crouching light kick is his only button that frame traps into overpower, which is the button that gets Wolf back in close to his opponent. His other buttons definitely do have great uses, and I think mixing up pressure is very strong in fighting games in general, but if your plan is just to run an effective throw versus frame trap mix-up, then it's hard to go wrong with crouching light kick and overpower. And one final note about this tip, I said to frame trap with options that allow you to continue your offense, which in this case, I've only been talking about continuing your tick throw offense. But there are other types of offense that can utilize pushback and minus or plus frames. So while pressing options that leave you -2 or -3 with pushback give up your tick throw offense, there are still other things you can set up off of them, but just aren't in the scope of this video. Ultimately, just make sure you're using your plus frames effectively to set up offense and condition your opponent, and aren't just giving it up for free without your opponent taking a risk to escape. Tip number 4 is something that I only fairly recently have been implementing effectively into my gameplay, and it is using matchup knowledge about throw ranges and button pushback to your advantage. Earlier, I mentioned that Wolf has one of the largest throw ranges in KI, so let's actually start to take advantage of it. Here's where we will start intentionally using buttons other than crouching light kick and overpower. This tip does require more in-depth game knowledge and experimentation in the lab, but versus many characters in the game, Wolf has frame trap pressure that will push him outside of his opponent's throw range, but keep him in his own. Versus very small throw range characters, one crouching light kick mid-screen will accomplish this, and versus many mid-throw range characters, one crouching medium kick will do the same. Crouching medium kick is a 6-frame normal that is also +2 on block and is single hit confirmable into a special move and counter hit confirmable into a link. Mid-screen, Wolf can do a crouching light kick followed by a standing light kick, which is a frame trap that is also hit confirmable as standing light kick is +5 on normal hit. And the pushback on the string pushes Wolf out of range of all except for the 6 largest throw range characters in the game. In the corner, Wolf can do 2 crouching light kicks or 2 crouching medium kicks to accomplish similar 2-button pushback and avoid medium throw ranges as well. Additionally, Wolf can Kara throw from his crouching light kick by plinking crouching light kick to the light punch button, which ends up having even more throw range than any normal throw in the game, including Aghanos, who is regarded as having the biggest throw range. In the corner, a point-blank standing medium kick is a button that leaves Wolf +2 and pushes Wolf outside of all normal throw ranges in the game. but his crouching light kick kara throw will still connect. Mid-screen, this can work too, but it is very character dependent if the throw will connect or not. A close overpower followed by a crouching light kick will also leave Wolf in great kara throw range. You can practice your kara throw in KI training mode with hitboxes turned on, and it'll briefly show the tan colored proximity guard box before the kara throw comes out, and that means you input it correctly. Knowing what ranges Wolf can throw after certain button pushback is important in a tick throw offense, as you can still threaten throws in plus frames without needing to micro walk, but I also think this greatly enhances Wolf's ability to run other forms of offense. When you are pushed outside of your opponent's throw range, but still in your own, you can more safely play patiently. For example, if your opponent is DP happy, they can't just throw you if they predict you are baiting a DP, so their only way to immediately try and open you up might be a slower overhead or something. If your opponent doesn't have this game knowledge either, you can really blow them up for trying to tech a throw, as they will be susceptible to whiffing throws in your face. Some buttons will even pull Wolf's hurt and throw boxes back, and can even be used as hard callouts that your opponent will try and tech a throw. Lots of possibilities when exploring button pushback, and it allows you to safely set up other forms of offense without needing to worry about getting thrown by your opponent. So now you've got a layered tick throw offense where you're confirming hits into combos and really have your opponent sweating trying to defend against it. But what happens if your opponent is just being super patient and has godlike throw tech defense, maybe implementing early or delayed techs, and they're blocking all your mids and teching all your throws? In order to keep your opponent sweating over your offense, my final tip is occasionally use your character's other less potent mix-up options to keep their mental stack overloaded. The worst thing to be in a fighting game is predictable, because everything has an answer, and being too predictable against a good opponent will just result in them hard countering your approach even if they are going for risky options. Once you get your opponent hyper-focused on defending against your basic tick throw offense, then they are more likely less ready for your other mix options, even if they aren't as strong. Sabrewulf has a fairly reactable overhead that has 25 frames of startup, and he also has a 19 frame forward dash that can cross through your opponent. The overhead, however, is punishable on block at -6, and the forward dash cannot be made safe or plus without the help of Wolf's Instinct Pharaoh Cancel. However, I personally am of the opinion that using the more reactable and unsafe options have a place, once your opponent is sitting in block and focusing on defending your more potent safe tick throw game. You are reminding them that they have to actually be on the lookout for more options than just mids and throws. And then once they start trying to focus on defending against those new options, then you'll be more likely to open them up with your tick throw mind games. Just don't be too reliant on this more reactable and unsafe mix, as once your opponent is ready for it, then you'll eat a big fat punish. One note for KI specifically is that all characters can tech throws during forward and backdash animation at any time for some reason, even though the game says punish. So as Wolf, if you're ever going for an unsafe dash through, just input a free throw tech in case your opponent tries to throw punish your dash. So there you have it, my 5 tips for running an efficient tick throw offense. Ultimately, it boils down to punishing your opponent hard for trying to not take the throw. Let me know what other factors can contribute to a strong tick throw offense in the comments below. Earlier, I said that being predictable is the worst thing you can be in a fighting game. And while a strong tick throw game with Sabrewulf can get you far in ranked online KI, if all you do is rely on frame traps and throws, then it can get shut down in any number of ways. Like, what do you do if your opponent constantly DPs out of your pressure? Or they're godlike with earlier delay throw tech defense? Or they're good at shadow counter reads? Or they regularly backdashing your pressure? Or you can't open them up even when you're varying your mix options, and more. I do have ideas about creating some more fighting game basics videos covering shimmies, stagger pressure, spacing traps, Sabrewulf neutral, and other topics, so be on the lookout for possibly more videos in the future. Thanks.